let's talk about the reasons. Why do we conduct a pen test? All right, let's first talk about what aspects of a pen test. What's it looking for, right? So what are the causes of vulnerability? Complexity, yes, absolutely, right? Is the more things that we tie together, the less likely they are to be secure. Doesn't mean they can't be, just means it's more complex to also do security. And then we look at familiarity, right? Using common code. Lib4j was a perfect example. Used by what, 30% of the servers around the world? Anybody running Java still? Mm-hmm. So it was, a way for them to do it against 30% of all servers. That's a huge one. Connectivity, as we add in more devices, there's where you talk about Internet of Things and how many devices come pre-hacked, those kind of concerns, right? And then we talk about poor password management. 35 years now, I'm still talking about passwords, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So it's amazing. I mean, really, when we talk about passwords, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but anybody guess what the #1 password this year is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We added 2 more. Yay! Okay. It's not tough enough, right? And operating system flaws, right? Things built into the devices themselves. Internet usage. Yeah, the more that we connect things and the greater capabilities we add, like, I don't know, NG, next generation 911, there's a lot of new capabilities, but they also require a lot of new connections. Right? New capabilities, well, also web-based applications and everything else, there's a high risk or higher risk because we're doing more. But we can also watch that. We can be aware of it. So this is another reason why you might want to pen test that application before it goes online. Software bugs. Yeah, this happens all the time, right? Somebody built something with an unintentional consequence of leaving something open.
Yeah, and this goes back to complexity again. The more complex software is, the more likely and the more numerous the bugs will be.
Last year, the big supply chain hack was caused because a programmer left himself a backdoor to be able to fix things during testing and forgot to close it before shipping. And that ended up being a huge supply chain hack.
And, with 1 million lines of code, somebody else didn't find it. Well, with 1 million lines of code, it's difficult to find, so we do get in our own way. All right, let's talk about unchecked user inputs. This is where we leave things that we shouldn't open in a way that allows the hackers to come along behind it and exploit it, right? Vulnerabilities we build into the systems to make them easier to use oftentimes also incorporate greater risk.
Yep, and sanitizing your user input in these web forms is really the way to mitigate this particular item. But that's a challenging thing too. It's less challenging nowadays because a lot of libraries have what are called prepared statements that do a lot of the work for you. They don't allow injection into SQL strings. So if folks are using the right methodology